with Samit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, Rajiv Rai, spokesperson for SP, Alimuddin Khan, political analyst, joining us this evening, Shahid Siddiqui, editor for Nai Dunya, and Sabah Naqvi, senior journalist, also with us on this debate. Sabah, I want to start with you first and just get a sense of what you made of that news briefing. It was short, crisp, pretty much to the script is what I thought. He didn't even take any questions. What was your reading?
It was exactly what you're saying. It was short, brief and to the point, and obviously he did not want to be confronted with questions, presuming that the media in Lucknow would ask them about his earlier speeches, which were clearly communal, which you can, I wish him all the best. I want to congratulate Sambit and the entire Bharatiya Janata Party, and I have personally congratulated people who I know, like such as Siddharth and Shrikant Sharma. That is besides the point, but one cannot erase the fact that Yogi Adityanath made the most rabid statements at one point. I hope because human beings change, circumstances change, life changes, I hope that office will temper him and he will do what he says he will do. You know, so what else can I say? And I'm not going to fight with Sambit. And this is a night for congratulations, a new era. This is my home state, Sambit. My family is scattered in many kasbas and towns across Uttar Pradesh, so I know it well. And let us all live in hope that there is no outright prejudice, there is no discrimination, that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is the plank on which the Bharatiya Janata Party did not position Yogi Adityanath as the CM candidate.
And he says
before.
Those things, Sabha. He actually says those things as if he knows people want to hear that. So he says that the idea will be Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. He says that the issues are about law and order and I will crack down on it. He says that people have to rest assured that there will be no discrimination. Now, does that instill some amount of faith? Did you think that perhaps there was a new man talking this evening?
I mean, I hope so, but I'm highly skeptical, but I hope so. But I do believe, I'll tell you one thing very frankly, I do believe that the BJP would not like to, I'm not a paranoid person, and I've also seen the manner in which once people come to power, they like to, nobody wants large-scale disruption of life. Nobody wants, and there are particular reasons why this has happened also. I will say this, if you give me the opportunity, there has been a shocking display by the so-called secular parties in the manner in which they have pursued certain vote banks. That has led to a disgust. I have always stated this, but let me also say this, just as I have always opposed mullahs and ulemas joining politics, and I've strongly spoken against their influence on so-called secular parties, I wish the BJP did not have to turn to the head of a religious mutt as a chief minister. That's all. It's against, in my understanding, that was against the spirit of the constitution, which is secularism. In my view, this too, why did you have to choose the head of a religious order?
Well, I'm not picking a fight. I'm saying I have this position
on all the mullah ulemas.
Yes, your point taken, and I was actually going to go across to Shahid Siddiqui first and get a sense from him as well on what he thought of Yogi Adityanath's news briefing, the first news briefing. But because you raised that point, Sabha, let's straight away take it to Sambit Patra. Why? Why did you choose him? That's the point, Sambit Patra.
Yeah.
See, technically speaking, democracy does not allow the space for this why. Why a person from a particular sect or community who heads a particular community or sect can become an elected member in Indian legislature, this the forefathers must have thought of while drafting the Constitution of India, and that's the reason as to why they did not have.
Okay, let's rephrase it then.
Why that my dear friend.
No, let's rephrase it then. I think what Sabha also means, a lot of us are also asking is based on what credits. Let's rephrase it to something that you would have a specific answer to.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that. In fact, Mr. Yogi Adityanath is not new to politics. He is though a young man. I mean, we had two achhe ladke in Uttar Pradesh who were contesting, one Rahul Gandhi and one Akhilesh Yadav. Rahul Gandhi is senior to Yogi Adityanath in age. Despite the fact that Yogi Adityanath is only 44, he is not new to Indian politics. He is a 5-term member of parliament. Even if he heads a sect, that does not mean he has not performed. He has performed. That is the reason as to why he is making his way continuously into the parliament since 1998. And remember, his parliamentary constituency is not a monogram, is not a homogeneous distribution of only one sect or one community, one caste or one creed. It is a distribution of all kinds of caste, creeds and religion. That means he is performing within his constituency that people of other religion also are electing him since 1998. That is the biggest credibility of Mr. Yogi Adityanath. The second issue is, as far as his speeches are concerned, let me tell you, Sabha, and today I would like to speak very candidly. People sitting on the ivory towers did not realize as to what was happening on the ground in Uttar Pradesh. If you go to the ground on Uttar Pradesh and would see as to why the Bharatiya Janata Party got this 325 mandate, there were 3 reasons for it. You know, the law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh was not only bad, but it was also discriminatory in the sense that if you faced a harassment and you went to the police station where you thought you would get justice, but no. The police stations in fact were discriminating on the lines of religion and caste. Number 2, there was no development in Uttar Pradesh, as everyone knows. Number 3 was appeasement. Even if you were into a white-collar job, you would realize the kind of appeasement that was taking place on the ground in Uttar Pradesh.
Shambit, I agree with you. I agree with all of these reasons. And you know what? It's not about whether somebody is sitting in ivory towers or somebody is actually out there on the ground. And I'm sure if that jive was actually meant for Sabha, you know how much she's traveled. So I mean, nobody really needs to put it out there. What we know of what is happening on the ground. Shamit Patra.
Can I?
Yes, Abanakvi.
I just want to answer Sambit. I accept that the charge of appeasement, but I would always also like the Bharatiya Janata Party to make a distinction that it has been clerics who have been appeased. Would you not concede that the average Muslim is very poor, often illiterate? They are weavers, they are craftsmen, they are traders. So when you put a charge like this on an entire community which is poor, backward, and I wish you would, now that you are in so much, you're in position of so much power, that you would make a distinction between clerics and ordinary citizens who also want to get on with life, have jobs, have education, raise their children. I mean, I'm asking you as a friend to make the distinction. When you're talking about appeasement, I agree.
And Shambit, I think it's really unfair. Tonight we are actually sitting and having a conversation of what happens next, whether he can deliver, what are his credentials, you know, what has he perhaps done is in his own constituency. But you drag it to a point where we are forced to ask these questions. When you speak about what people on ground voted for, are you telling me that the people who went and voted for BJP, all of them had Yogi Adityanath in their mind as the chief minister? That they knew that this is the man who in 2009 said, when I ask them to rise and protect our Hindu culture, they obey. If I ask for blood, they will give me blood. When in another video, he's been seen as saying, in an undated video, but he's been seen as saying, if they take on one Hindu girl, we will take 100 Muslim girls, and we can go on about these speeches. Now, please don't make the 320 seats and all of those votes about people keeping Yogi Adityanath in mind when they were voting for BJP, because then you might actually offend some of the voters of Uttar Pradesh. But I want to very quickly go across to some of our other voters. There wasn't a question that I want to bring in. No, there wasn't a question in that. There was no question in that. That was just my comment to what you said. I just want to bring in our other panelists. Shai Siddiqui, first to you. And we go back to that. Does Yogi Adityanath's news briefing today give some sense of perhaps we are looking at a chief minister now, not just a firebrand Neta?
Look, I have been in politics for decades. I have seen leaders emerge. I have seen leaders change. And my experience is that what people talk out of power, what people talk during election campaigns may not be their real view or opinion. Many things are done to get the votes, but once you are in power, you change. And I hope, I pray and I wish that Yogi Adityanath changes now, changes from his image which he deliberately created, and in the interest of Uttar Pradesh, in the interest of BJP, and in the interest of this country, I want him to change. Secondly, I won't like to have any preconceived, opinion about him, and I will request everybody to do that. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him, time where he is allowed to change and allowed to perform.
Okay.
Because UP is in dire need of development and vikas. So just talking about vikas will not be enough. It will not be easy, as I have been saying time and again, that UP is the most difficult state in the country. UP is not one state, it's like being the chief minister of 5 states, and that's the challenge before Yogi ji. It's not only his image as a Hindu Hridaya Samrat, it's his inexperience as administrator, his inexperience of running the government and working with the bureaucracy, which is going to be a challenge for him, and therefore he has to overcome that. But I see a parallel situation like that of Shri Narendra Modi in 2002 in Gujarat, where he came without any experience. He had never been elected, unlike Yogi ji, who has been a 5-time member of parliament. And from then on, for the next 15 years, Modi ji was able to deliver. After the first riot of 2002, he was able to keep the communal situation under control. He was able to give peace to Gujarat, and the minorities also had a lot of peace and were able to develop. So
okay. And in fact, Mr. Shahid Siddiqui, just like you said, in fact, even when Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister, Shahid Siddiqui, that was the objection that was raised by a lot of people, that he may have been the Chief Minister for so many years, but he doesn't have any experience at a national level. But look where we've come so far. So perhaps said, yes, even if inexperience is experience is rather not on Yogi Adityanath's side, we can give him a chance on that. But Rajiv Rai, look what is coming as a reaction from a lot of our panelists, and this is not just now. Through the day, we've been speaking to a lot of experts. They speak about the challenges, big task cut out for Aditya Yogi Nath. Now, it is a big task for him because of the state of affairs in Uttar Pradesh, because of where your government seems to have left things, because of what your government has done when it comes to law and order, because of what your government has done when it comes to women's security, which is nothing. Which is why today people are hoping that Yogi Adityanath is able to deliver on these things.
Let me begin with, when the swearing-in ceremony was going on, I was live on another channel, and my friend Sambit was also there with me. And what the most of panelists has said now, I have told to him at that point of time only. Look, you remember our Akhilesh ji's statement last day when we lost the election 5 o'clock, what we expected. We again don't want to get into the past, don't want to have a preconceived notion or prejudice about him. His past is nothing new, which I am here to tell you all panelists there. Only hope and pray. Wherever we have left, he will start. I mean, a lot of expectation from him. Massive mandate he has got, and hope that whatever they have been talking, they will deliver.
What about this change of heart?
Let me clarify again.
What about this change of heart? All these days you've been campaigning and accusing BJP of.
What is the change of heart? Don't you appreciate? You want me to criticize from the day on?
Even after you lost the elections, the opposition turned around and said, "Oh, BJP has only won because of the polarization card and the communalization that they did on ground." Then what's happened today? I just want to understand. That's all.
No, please allow me to complete. Don't. If you want to pass a judgment before I could complete, then it's your game.
Okay, maybe I got it wrong. Go ahead, complete your point.
You have not allowed me.
Go ahead.
We assured, and Netaji and Akhilesh ji was there, and as we assured them, look, we accept the mandate of people. Though we may or may not agree for the reason behind this mandate, but we assure you that we will be playing a positive, supportive and constructive role of opposition. We will not oppose you for the heck of opposition, and we will not leave you if you feel something is going wrong against the interest of the state. Number one. Number two, Yeah, made a remark in the beginning only. There is nothing new. All are on all his earlier speeches, his statement, his action, everything is available on the social media, YouTube, Google, everywhere. So what is new which I should tell? And enough of speaking against each other we have done. Now let us make a beginning. When you say about the poor law and order, my friend Sambit Patra has been telling. See, I told him on other channel also. It is not always the perception what you create. See, I gave one very classic example. Before Sahidji will agree with me, before we all joined. And even we came to the power, BJP also came to the power. Rajiv Gandhi lost the election because of Bofors, but Bofors was not found.
I find it really amusing. I find it really amusing and appalling, Rajiv Rai, that you still want to take this line. Because, you know, if you still continue to be in denial of why you were voted out, if you still continue to believe that law and order was not really a problem on ground, but was because of the perception that was created, perhaps by your rivals, perhaps even by media, because when Akhilesh government was in power, the constant response to every question that was asked on a law and order issue, sir, was to turn around and say, oh, you are in the habit of exaggerating things, there is nothing wrong. No, Rajiv, please, you need to introspect tonight. Your party needs to. I mean, we appreciate the fact that Akhilesh Yadav was there graciously congratulating everybody. But please, you need to sit and also introspect about where you went wrong. And why is it that the other party was chosen with such a big mandate today? Now, we're going to take a very short break. We'll come back in just 2 minutes and we'll start from Mr. Alimuddin Khan and we'll take the conversation up from there. Please stay tuned.
The News Hour Special Edition will be right back after the break.
Welcome back, viewers. Straight away going across to Alimuddin Khan. Thank you, sir, for patiently waiting. But I'm sorry I couldn't come to you earlier. Now, this is where the debate stands, sir. The fact is that he is, of course, a firebrand neta. Everybody is very familiar with the kind of speeches he's made in the past. But has he turned a new leaf? Will he be able to deliver on the Vikas and the development for all mantra of the Prime Minister? That now becomes the big question. What did you make of the news briefing that he held earlier in the evening and the initial indications that are coming across? Not just that, now our reporters are telling us that he's already begun to crack the whip. He wants all of the netas who've been sworn in today to come out and declare their assets and have complete transparency when it comes to their own finances and assets. He's already asked the netas to move a proposal to end the Lal Batti culture. He wants to do away with the Lal Batti culture, which frankly for us here at times now we've been campaigning for it for the longest time. End this VVIP racism. So it looks like on day one itself, Yogi Adityanath has begun to act like a chief minister and not so much like the hothead that he's perceived to be.
Tanvi ji, please give me time to explain at least. You see, first of all, if you see the characteristics of career of Yogi ji is different from the speech he has given today. Now, his very foundation of his political career is on a fundamentalist Hindu. Now, he has always tried to create fear in the minorities' minds. Now, let me explain to you, please give me time. The division of the country in 1947 was not happens because of the difference between Nehru and Jinnah. It was because the fear in the minds of the minority. Now, the politics of division, politics of divide is practiced by the BJP and RSS. The political of divide is played by the RSS and BJP is taking this nation to the different way. You see,
sir, it's 2017, sir. Let's talk about now and what happens now. Yes. Sabha Naqvi and then
Tanvi, we talk about 2017. Tanvi ji, let me complete. Tanvi ji,
let him complete because we went to him very late into this debate, Sabha. Let him just complete and then both you and Sambit can respond to that.
Let me complete.
No, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, please let me complete. I am disagree with
what do you have to complete?
Statement that peace and harmony between Hindus and Muslims is because of the Modi regime. It is not that. The peace of harmony of the country is because of the majority of Hindus are secular in nature. It is because of that. And that's why Muslims of India are at peace and they love their country. They have seen the plight of the Muslims who migrated to Pakistan. So they don't want to go to that those things.
In that case, Mr. Alimuddin Khan, if that is the case, then why are you worried? If that is the case, Alimuddin Khan, then why are you worried? You may not want to attribute it to one leader or the other, but the fact is there is peace. Please listen to what the other people have to tell you, and I think really you need to move on to what is happening today as the reality. Yes,
Can
Sabha.
I come in?
Yeah.
Mr. Alimuddin, sir.
Can I please?
Yes, Shambit, after Sabha you please.
Alimuddin, sir, respectfully.
Vikas is unseen. Vikas is unseen. Now where is
Respectfully, Alimuddin ji.
Sambit Patra ji, please give me time. Please let me complete. Dr. Sambit Patra ji, you are very smart.
People are going to shout. Alimuddin sir, I feel embarrassed.
Alimuddin Khan ji, Alimuddin Khan, please 2 minutes. You made your point.
I would like to contradict Mr. Alimuddin.
Please listen to what others have to tell you. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, Sabha.
Shahid bhai, I was speaking before that, so if I may get in a word, Alimuddin sir, very respectfully,
please do,
going back to the partition and talking about Muslim here, Muslim fear, Muslim fear then and Muslim fear now, all of this conversation, all of this talk by talking heads is what has landed you all here. I just want to make one point. The only thing Muslims should fear is not special identity guarantees. The only thing they should fear is livelihood matters, and any other conversation that you engage in, going on analyzing Muslims like this, Muslims like that, Muslim psyche like this, you damage the community which needs to deal with education, economic issues. For God's sake, I appeal to all of you, cut it out. Let's move on in life. Cut out this. Let's talk about normal things, which Muslims are also normal people. Let all the commentators rescue them from this Muslim bhoot that you have chadawed on them.
Absolutely.
That's my appeal in a relatively moderate...
That has become the reality of some of these so-called secular parties now, Sabha. That if they were so interested in the interests of all communities and not of vote bank politics and appeasement, then they should have done something in all these years. Why is it that the entire campaign to end triple talaq is only gathering steam now, Alimuddin Khan? What is it that has been done? Nothing. Just keep the community there and keep harping about the fact that you care for them without actually doing anything for them on ground. That is the reality, which is why Congress and SP are where they are this evening. But yes, Sambit Patra, you wanted to respond to what he is saying.
See, Mr. Khan, my sincere advice to you is, you don't need time to explain anything. People of Uttar Pradesh have explained everything. Sir. You need time. Sir, please folded hands, listen to it. Please don't be arrogant. Don't be arrogant. Please listen to others also. We heard you. My only submission is, people of Uttar Pradesh have explained everything. You need time not to explain, but time to introspect. So please sit back and introspect. I'm thankful that Sabha Naqvi, after all these years, has finally realized that this narrative where the Muslim is projected in a way, not the real Muslim, the real Muslim that she was talking about, the Muslim who needs education, the Muslim who needs job, the Muslim narrative in a way was projected all these years as if to talk about everyone is communal and to only harp about a particular community is secular. That has been debunked, and that has been debunked as never before. I'll give you a small example. Sabha, if you differ,
one seat in union.
I'm interacting with Sabha, sir. I don't want to interact with Rahul Gandhi.
To a Muslim,
sir,
I want to Muslim community.
Sir, please, with folded hands, I am asking a question to Sabha Naqvi. I don't want to interact with Rahul Gandhi or his sympathizers. He's a finished game. I don't want to interact with you. And this is not arrogance. This is just simple arithmetic. Sabha, my only submission over here is, if you don't agree, point out to me that when this UP election was to come, we used to put on these television channels. Everywhere in the television channels, the narrative would be, UP is the biggest state in the country, 18% of Muslims, and how do the Muslims define as to who would form the government in Uttar Pradesh? My question then was, why only talk of Muslims? Why not everyone, the Hindus, the Sikhs and others also decide as to how they form the government in Uttar Pradesh? This narrative that only 18% will determine who forms the government is the narrative of the Congress party, the narrative of the BSP, the narrative of Samajwadi party, and that has been debunked.
Okay.
That is the narrative of some of the so-called secular journalists as well.
Sombit, it's interesting that Sabha is agreeing with you on most matters than ever before tonight. But I want to see if Rajiv Rai has a different view.
I've been saying that,
Yes,
Sambit, even before the results.
Absolutely, Sabha. So
Can I have 30 seconds?
Let's take that point to
I have been
Rajiv Rai and
requesting
see if
30
he has a
seconds.
different point of view. And Shahid Siddiqui then, please. Mr. Rajiv Rai, can you hear us?
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, can
please,
you
if
hear
don't
us?
mind?
Were you able to hear what Sambit Patra said just a minute ago?
No, lot of disturbance. It was breaking in between.
Okay, I will repeat it for your benefit. Sambit Patra says that now you need to move on to what the new narrative is. Until the last UP elections, the entire narrative revolved around the 20% Muslims and what had to be done for them. The fact is that if it is about development and if it is about governance, it has to be about everyone. And that is the narrative that voters want to hear tonight. Now, would you want to respond on that the Samajwadi party understand the difference now?
Samajwadi party and our leader understood much earlier, and that was the very reason that if you see that Akhilesh Yadav's speech and his arguments, entire thing we were focusing only on the development. Yes, we feel we have done enough.
Then why was Rajendra Chaudhary of the SP speaking at a public platform and saying ye dono atangwadi hai? I don't even want to take the name of two people he was referring to. I'm sure it's pretty clear to you. Dono atang paida kar rahe hain loktantra.
See, if you go back, that has been explained.
And speak about what Yogi Adityanath said or did not say.
The context
What about your own party candidate?
And if you want to go back, I'll have. Please allow me. See, those questions, if you want to bring back again, I'll have another dozens of the questions which BJP friends will find difficult to answer. Let us move on. You suggested, let us move on. The fact remains the same. They are in the power. The people have voted for them. Mandate is in their favor, and we will wait and watch, and we expect them to deliver better than us what we did. And it is for the people to judge. Let us give them another 6 months of time.
Sambit, remember this, okay? They are promising to be a very constructive opposition.
If I say anything,
they are promising to be a very constructive opposition for you guys in Uttar Pradesh, Sambit. Just remember this, the next time we have a debate on what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. But very quickly, I need to...
And I would also congratulate Akhilesh Yadav and Mulayam Singh Yadav for having shown the kind of gesture that they showed on the stage tonight.
All right, quickly wrapping up now. Before that, Mr. Shahid Siddiqui, you wanted to make a point. I'm sorry I couldn't come to you earlier. Go ahead, sir.
No, I don't want to make any point now because you didn't give me any chance to speak. Now, since you are wrapping up, there's no point in talking now. But what I wanted to say was, please move on, and media should also stop this Hindu-Muslim, debate. Indian Muslims rejected partition. This was a huge mistake, and Indian Muslims are not interested in any more of this divide and rule. And therefore, let's move on. And from here, let's talk of development in UP, and development means a green revolution in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is dire need of a green revolution. The agriculture has suffered a lot. Uttar Pradesh needs infrastructure which has to be developed, not in one area but all over. Administrative failure of Uttar Pradesh requires a new, working to see that this huge state is divided into areas, subdivisions where administration can be controlled. And this is the huge challenge before BJP, because every government has failed. Let's not just talk of Akhilesh Yadav. In fact, from Kalyan Singh to now, every government has failed, and it will succeed only if you come with a new mind and a new approach and with a positive approach, instead of looking at what Akhilesh did wrong, what Mayawati did wrong, or what others did wrong. Let's move on from there. Otherwise, we will never go into a positive mode. It will always be negative, and we'll go on fighting and showing what is wrong with the other.
Well, this doesn't happen that often, but it seems like all of our panelists tonight, except Alimuddin Khan, or on the same page, and it's interesting, and it's in fact quite pleasant, Sabha, because
On the
everybody
first day you
seems
want
to
us
be
to fight?
on an optimistic note, and perhaps that's the message that we are also getting from the Uttar
Yeah,
Pradesh mandate, that it's time to
Yeah,
move
Tanvi,
on. And it's time for development. But Yogi Adityanath
Tanvi,
says he
you
needs to fix
absolutely,
law and order.
Yeah.
He needs to ensure that there is security and women empowerment. And of course, the biggest message that we got from his news briefing this evening was development for all. Sabka Vikas. So let's wait and watch if he can really do that. We hope he can in Uttar Pradesh. I thank you all for joining us on this debate tonight.